Hello everyone, it's Caitlin, and today we're going to do a parasol unboxing. Okay, so I got this in the mail just yesterday, and I'm super excited about it. This one should be, I actually ordered two parasols, both from different people, so the other one's going to be coming in a couple days. We'll get to that one when it gets here, but I just couldn't wait. So we're going to do this one right now. This one, if I remember correctly, should be an 1840s parasol, and it comes with its original box. So I'm super excited about that. So let's go ahead and open it. And I'm hoping it's not broken. Sometimes with these 1840s ones, because the finials are so long, I've had more than one very nice parasol damage from shipping. So hopefully it'll be okay. It looks like it's pretty well packaged in here. Okay, set this aside. Okay. Go ahead and cut this off. It's cute paper. Looks like an old sewing pattern. But I will be very happy when we get this into an acid-free box with acid-free tissue paper. Where's the end? This thing is wrapped very well. Okay. If I can get it enough, maybe we can just slide it out. There we go. Together. And plastic, okay. This is actually the second parasol in my collection that has its original box. Ironically, the other one's an 1840s parasol too. One day I'll get around to showing my 1830s and 1840s parasols. Alrighty. Okay, so this one has yellow, or was what was once yellow, trim, design. It's very yellow on the bottom. And still, on top not so much, but this is exactly the way my other parasol was boxed. No maker's marks, nothing like that. Basically, it's thinner than bookboard, but it's more secure than cardboard. So yeah, that's basically that's the exact box that my other one came in, except for that one it was blue tape, not yellow. So that is interesting. Okay, let's go take this off. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at that blue. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a little sad. Oh my gosh. I do this so often, it still never ceases to amaze me. That fabric. Look, it's like pink on the inside. That is like, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's like pink on the inside. Oh, that is so beautiful. This might be the prettiest cover in my collection now. Like, I'm not kidding. I think it's the prettiest color in my collection. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. I'm just speechless right now. It looked brown online. I just thought it was brown with brown flowers. It was pretty, but I was not expecting this. It's just so pretty. And like you can see, this is faded quite a bit because there's some really like electric blue spots on it where like it was folded in and probably still stuck in the box. So it was like electric blue. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Missing one of its tips, and one of the tips is broken, but it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it means I have 6 good rib tips. Rattan ribs. This is the broken one. You can usually tell, especially when they're broken, because baleen is different than rattan, especially on the inside. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I just can't get over the fact that it's like pink on the inside. And that finial is just gorgeous. Like, it is just absolutely beautiful. Mm. So pretty. Oh! It has its, I call them hooks. Basically what would have been, to wrap around to make the parasol stay shut. Yeah. One's further down. Looks like it's missing its elastic band, but that's, you know, pretty typical, so. Oh. Okay, well we still have the little bead that would have held it shut. It's just held shut by ribbon right now, so it's probably was missing either elastic, or this was pretty earlier, it may have been ribbon. And it, you know, it's probably snapped off, but someone was smart enough to keep the pieces together, so at least I have that. That's awesome. Because I can look further down the parasol. Okay. Yeah, this one's actually very similar to my other one. Like the whole design of the handle, very, very similar. Has its little piece of bone at the very bottom. This little sleeve, it's a folding parasol, which is what my other one is as well. The exact same size as the other parasol too. I think I dated that one to like mid 1840s, so this is roughly the same. And up here is all wood, and then up here on the shaft is all wood as well. Metal inner ribs and rattan outer ones. Gorgeous, gorgeous finial. I kind of want to measure it. I'm going to find a measuring tape. Measuring tape. Alright, so from base to top, that is 4.5 inch finial. That is quite a nice finial. Let's see, handle from tip up is 14 inches. That little tip is about 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, rib length, including the rib tips, choose one of the good rib tips, is 14.25 up to the finial. Ribs themselves, since I have a broken rib, kind of nice. I can measure the actual rib length, which is 13.25. I just still can't get over the silk. I really was not expecting it to be this pretty. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So pretty. And it's split, like, and I knew it was in poor condition when I bought it. Like, obviously I saw the pictures, and I was expecting it to be, but you know, it's like, it's 170 years old. It's allowed to be a little sad looking. I don't expect them to ever be pristine. It's cool when I find pristine ones, but honestly, this is just worth it for the silk. It is just fantastic. So pretty. I don't even know if the camera's going to do it justice, but it is so pretty. It's cut on the selvage, which is very typical of early parasols. Until like the 1850s is when I start. So I first noticed the scalloping edges in the 1850s. So like this is very typical of earlier parasols. I'm just so glad we have this. So good keeping. I mean, this one will never get restored. Like this one's going to stay exactly the way it is. Because there's no reason. I mean, obviously, like, no, I would never take this cover off. This is just too pretty. I will never. But it makes me really happy because there's a parasol that is in my collection that is very similar in the sense that it's around the same time period, and it had absolutely no cover on it. So there was this tiny little remnant of like electric blue on the very top. So I was like wondering if I could do it in electric blue, but apparently this is totally perfectly fine to do it in electric blue. So that one may end up getting recovered in electric blue silk, and we'll just pretend that it's this one. Oh, there's a note. Hang on. Says, Grandma Underwood's little silk parasol, about 1840. Yeah, I agree with that. And it says 1969, Ron Hegerly, great-grandmother, dad's side of family. So it's just like a personal family note. Okay. Well, this does not need to be in here though, because it's all acidic. That needs to be wrapped something different. So like when I store this, this will not be stored in this. This will be stored in an acid-free box with acid-free tissue paper. This will probably get folded, well not folded, but it'll have acid-free tissue paper on the top and bottom. This will be covered in acid-free tissue paper. Kind of like how my current one is now. What I'm going to go ahead and go get that one out and kind of compare them because they are super similar. And I think that'd be kind of cool to kind of do on camera, even though this is really supposed to be an unboxing video. And then when the other one comes in, we'll open that one. Okay, so here's the other parasol that I was talking about. Basically, it's a brown silk moire, and this one is lined, which is more typical of higher quality parasols. Kind of lower quality ones, you don't see it as lined. It's kind of been my observation. And then as you go later, like later 1840s to 1850s, they start being lined a whole lot more. So this one is lined. And she doesn't have her, I don't think she has her little hooky thing. So I can give it over a good look, because sometimes I forget about these things. Nope, but here's exactly where it was put on, because there's a little hole. So it was on this one. Don't know if that really matters anyway. But yeah, very similar in terms of they are the exact same size. And their finials are the exact same height. Nearly the exact same rib length, although this one is about an inch longer maybe. But the handles are exactly the same. So yeah, very, very similar. They're basically from the exact same time period. Box, very similar all the way around. Again, except for my old one's blue and this one's yellow. This one's a little thinner and longer by about 1 3/4 inches. And then width-wise, the new one is 1 3/4 inches. This one's slightly over 1.5 inches. So yeah, not very big. So this one's cleaner on the inside than the new one is, but the overall box I think is better shape on this one. Although clearly this one has seen some water damage. So yeah, but that's really cool. I love getting parasols that are almost exactly alike. Those are so much fun. But you can even see on their handles, like, it's the exact same design, except for this one has a hand, and the hand's holding a bead, which also matches its finial, because I have a hand on its finial too, which is kind of cool. I really like this finial though. Like this one I think is cute with the hand, and I like that it matches the hand on the handle, but this one's just so pretty. It's just the way it's carved, and of course that silk is just gorgeous. Very similar little, what are these called, fit ups? I think that's the word. It's been a while though. Very similar, not the same though, but very similar. Well, here's to hoping the next one that's coming in a couple of days or weeks or whatever, it's going to be just as exciting. That one is colorful, so it's plainer, later time period, and I'm excited to see some things. I think it's an 1860s parasol. It's coming to me straight from Italy, which is probably where it's from. But I'm excited to kind of see that. I'm excited to see that one, so I'm backing a little bit with that. And I'm going to keep oogling over this awesome thing and this amazing cover and that fantastic finial. So I'll see you with the new box. And we're back. So it's actually 4 weeks for me, but it finally came in. So here it is, quite a smaller package than the one we saw before, but I think this is an 1860s example, so this is about the right size I would expect for that type of piece. So let's go ahead and open it. for the dogs, and I think it's a box for them. It's not for you. Alright, so here we are. Let's see. Pile of things on the ground here, so they're not in our way. Alright. Oh, some pretty silk. Oh. Yeah, here she is. And she has her tassels still, which is super exciting. You don't see those very often surviving. Yeah, it's a marquis. I figured it was. But yeah, you can see, I don't know if it's going to show on the camera, but between the splits and the silk, you can definitely see her little marquis hinge. And she wiggles. Good sign of a marquis. The silk is not straight purple like I thought it was. It's actually a purple shot black, which is interesting. So, yay. Ribs are either cane or baleen. Give me a second. Those are baleen. Yeah, they look like baleen. Interesting. Yeah, I do know some of the European ones, even though I would agree that this is 1860s with those ruffles. Sometimes the European places would continue to use cane or baleen instead of the metal ribs into the 1860s. So, yep. So she has a bone handle here, and look at that beautiful little carving detail. So pretty. And her little finial. Oh, that marquis hinge is really trying to break free. She is missing what would be like a little bone ring going through there, but I don't have any of my bone rings. So like I have several parasols that would have had bone rings. None of them exist. I have one parasol that is has a horn finial, and its ring is still there, but the bone ones have all managed to disappear. She is lined. It's quite dirty, but there's her lining. And that cream china silk, and she does have little pink edges, which is typical. And she just has splits everywhere. I don't know if I'm going to recover her or not. I think she's very pretty, and I think it'd be fun to recover her. I just don't know if I necessarily need a parasol right now from this time period. It is interesting because she is European, and yes, I could probably use a European parasol from the 1860s, but I don't know. She's not in terrible condition, so. But it would be really easy to find silk like that, and that's a good parasol recovery. Good candidate for recovery are the ones where you can actually find the silk. So I can find a black shot purple silk easily. And it looks like she is hand sewn. Yeah, so even the ruffle's hand sewn on. The ruffle is, I'm trying to keep her open, is pinked on both sides. So it's about, I could get a measuring tape, hang on. So the ruffle itself from end to end, about 1.5 inches is what I thought it was, just slightly over 1.5 inches ruffle, and then right down the center they just stitched it on with a very small running stitch. That's done by hand with black thread. Yeah, and it's just a single layer ruffle. It's really not gathered very much, which is very typical. I would say maybe 1 1/4 times the amount of fabric from the actual panel, so just very, very lightly gathered. Beautiful parasol. No maker's mark that I can see yet, but if I did open her up and really look at her, there may be one somewhere up here, because I've seen them like all the way up here, which is not very useful unless you actually do recover them. Her inner ribs, get that there, they are painted white, which is interesting. But yeah, so her handle is bone. I call it the shaft, the little piece that goes up here, it's wood. It's not even painted to look bone. I have some that are painted white to look like the bone. But I just can't get over that pretty little carving. It's very simple. It's very simple, but it's very cute. Oh, here comes the cat. She likes things. She knew that we were filming. She wants to come over here too. You're going to have to move, honey. I know it. It's just rude, isn't it? It's rude to make you move. Go back in here. Yep, sorry. And the beautiful little tassels. So it looks like the top part, and it's probably over maybe a bone bead or something, but it's oval. I guess I have this around my neck. Like a cylinder basically. And it's 1/2 inch tall. And just about 1/4 inch wide. And then the actual tassel bits are partially purple and partially black, so it matches exactly with the silk. So that kind of further confirms that this is a black shot purple fabric because the tassels are black and purple, which is fun. That's actually not the first parasol that I've seen that's a shot silk that had 2 colored or 2-tone tassels. So that is interesting that they did that. So that's quite fun. She looked definitely more purple in the pictures online, but I like a good shot silk, so I'm happy with this. This is cute. Yeah, I'm overall very pleased with this. So, 2 new parasols to add to the collection. Yay, that's just what I needed, is more parasols. But this one is interesting for me simply because most of my 1860s parasols that I have in my collection are American made, like the American made marquis, the black ones. And so I don't have a lot of European 1860 parasols. I have one French one, I have a couple French ones that are covered in Chantilly lace. So I guess I should really say I don't have any that are not American made marquis and are not the French ones with the lace. So it was just something different to add to the collection, which is why I wanted her. So I'm quite happy with her. She's going to go into the 1860s box, and maybe eventually we'll get to recovering her. That would be a lot of fun. There are a couple parasols I am going to be recovering soon, and we're going to do that on camera. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be one of them though. So one of them is going to be one of the ones that has a lace cover. Her lace covers and shatters, and so I have some lace edging I'm going to put around her for right now until I can find an actual canopy cover for her. But that one's just going to be black silk, so it's not going to be anything really fun. And then the other one's 1840s walking parasol. That's going to get me covered in pink. So I think it's going to be covered in pink. I'm quite excited. But eventually this will be a really fun parasol to recover. But as of right now, she's going to go in the 1860s box. And the other one's already in her box, in the 1840s box. Actually, really, it's the 1830s and the 1840s box, and kind of the 1870s, 80s box too. I don't have a lot of parasols from this time period. I have a lot of 1840s ones, but I have like 1 or 2 1870s ones, one that's 1880s, and one that's 1830s, and so they kind of just get piled into the 1840s box, mostly because I don't have space for them anywhere else. So yeah, this was in the 1860s box, which is kind of full, but you know, that happens. Yay! Alrighty. Well, that was fun. 2 little parasols that I get to add to my collection. Now I don't buy parasols very often anymore. I need to get back on. I've been working on the dress part of my collection more than the parasols, but it's kind of fun to kind of get back to what I started with. This is fun. So yeah, kind of glad we did this. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me on my little unboxing video, and I will see you next time.